2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the... My clock is talking to me, and I don't want it to talk to me. But I don't... It's like, you can't win on this stuff. Reset. Stop.
9 minutes, 41.2
reset.
Remaining.
Yeah. We're going to reset you. How do we get the microphone to turn off? No, I don't want to do that. It's asking me what I want to say to the thing. No, I just want to do settings. We'll get this working. Turn off the speech. Good. There we go. We'll get this working. I'm ready to go. I'm almost ready to go. We'll do another start. I can chop this off. I can chop anything off I want. Right? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Today I'm going to continue in session number 4 on data and context. I've been reviewing my material and realized that this was probably an hour talk, and I'm only about 15 minutes into it. So I'm going to pick up the pace a little because I'm not sure everybody understood it when I gave it. But if you remember last time, oops, got the wrong. Then you can see my cursor. Yes, good. If you remember last time we were talking about, first we were talking about how context can make you millions of dollars. So don't forget that, okay? Last time we talked mainly about this gauge array. Back in the days of analog control panels, what you saw was consistency across the gauges. And that meant that if there was something awry, you instantly saw it in whatever gauge was out of sync with the rest of them. And that we were very deliberate about that. Then along came digital readouts, and oftentimes not only did they require mental exercise, because they were like numbers out of context. You had to say, well, what is that number about? What does that mean? Is that in the range that's appropriate? And so then they had to put alerts on there when they were out of range, like this little light bulb, so that they would go off because you couldn't easily tell what was going on. And so we've got these attenuators or alerts underneath the gauges and the digital readouts. And we're going to go delve a little bit into how to display data shortly. But we ended up with, what do you see when you actually observe? Because I have people tell me, oh, I'm a scientist. I don't worry about philosophical or spiritual issues. I just look at the data. Well, the truth is, when you look at the data, what you see in a pool game, for example, you see the white ball speeding up quickly, stopping abruptly, another one starting off abruptly. You infer the causality. You infer the white ball knocking the other ball into the pocket. But what you actually see, if you step back and think about it, thank you, David Hume, what you actually see is one ball starting, another ball stopping. You infer the cause. And that's what makes context so important and so tricky. So, going on, which golfer is better? We've got one golfer who shot 72 or another golfer who shot 83. Which golfer is better? Oops. Well, the answer requires context. I used this question to teach A-B split testing to a CEO founder of a golf company. And he said, well, it depends. I mean, are they even playing on the same course? Answer, no. Are they playing in the same conditions? No. In fact, the one who shot 72 is me on a kind of an executive course, my best round ever. And the 83 is Jack Nicklaus's worst performance in a professional PGA Tour event. Okay? No one would argue I'm a better golfer than Jack Nicklaus. Context is required to answer most questions. So now we come to the number 37. And I just literally picked this number out of the sky. I said, what number? Let's just pick a number and see what we can find out about the number. I found an image search. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was a race car, number 37. There's a highway, number 37. There's all kinds of stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. And I then Googled just, the actual information. It turns out that a 3-4-5 right triangle, the small angle is approximately 37 degrees. The sine, cosine, and tangent of 37 degrees are approximately 3/5, 4/5, and 3/4, respectively, which, of course, does make a little bit of sense, I suppose. 37 degrees is a popular angle for use in physics tests. I don't know enough about physics to know what that means. I don't even know if it means a 37-degree angle or a 37-degree temperature, because I don't know enough context to answer even that question that I snuck out of Google. There were 37 miracles of Jesus. How about that? Did you know that? No. The 12th prime number and the first irregular prime is 37. And I don't even know what an irregular prime is. So feel free to write in the comments below and tell me what an irregular prime is. Okay? It's the height in feet of the green monster at Fenway Park. I know what that one is. 37 foot tall. The average human temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. Huh, I didn't know that. Les Miserables has a cast of 37. Now, I replied to an article where a data scientist, I can't believe a legitimate data scientist said this, but in the article said, we're now collecting everything important. To which I replied, how do you know? Because you don't. You don't know, Sutter's Mill. The people sold their farm to go in search of gold, came back years later, barbed wire fences everywhere. Guess where they had discovered gold? On this farm. In the California Gold Rush. The San Francisco 49ers, 1849. That's how you remember it. You don't know what you don't know. What's lacking cannot be counted. Not really. And I would contend that there are an infinite number of contextual variables about 37. You say, oh, that can't possibly be true. Let's start. Let's just start to help you stretch your brain a little. What is 1/37th of the weight of the sun? What is 1/37th of the distance to the center of the universe? We don't even know where the center of the universe is, or the center of our solar system. Well, we know that because it's the sun. But get that exactly precise? Yes, that's difficult. What is 37 times the number of molecules in this room? Don't know, right? But it's a possible variable if you could count them, right? So the answer is there's a lot of potential variables. And once you start thinking about context, you just never finish. Which is why we do A/B split tests. And we have scientific principles for how to rule out irrelevant context. We're not going to talk about that today. Today, we just want to talk about how there is context, and there's an unlimited number of variables. And I'm in the middle of a modeling process where we're taking over from another modeler. And because the other modeler used an algorithm to essentially cherry pick, you score the customers top to bottom, and the older customers who didn't spend much, we apply this algorithm to them, and we eliminate some and we keep others. We don't know exactly what the algorithm was. So when we look at the results of a mailing and we say, oh, this is how old they were, this is how much they spent, And gee, these old ones did pretty well. Well, part of it is because they didn't mail all the old ones. They just mailed some of them. They cherry-picked it by the algorithm. Now we have a devil of a time trying to figure out what the heck to do next. How much to trust our own numbers. Because we know that in the context of the other model, they're off a bit. So we're left with a puzzle of the universe. Since we can't know all the context, how do we portray data? Next time we're going to talk more about data portrayal and how you can help out your audience, which may be your CEO or your board of directors, help them get through this, help them at least see comparatively the trends and the meaning of data, even if you can't show them all of the variables, even if you're not measuring everything that you could measure, as my data scientist colleague thought. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Hit like and share. These are archived on YouTube, which is a great place to see all of the crazy news and opinions that I've been putting out for the last few months.